Mazda's all-new three-row crossover, the CX-90, will be revealed January 31st. I'll be giving you guys that coverage hands-on in just a couple days. I'll be going back to Cali. It's funny that Big E was playing on the radio this morning going back to Cali. But anyways, let's get into this newest teaser. First things first, check out the dash. They're carrying over this Japanese-inspired, and it's also inspired by a type of book bindings, this type of hang stitching, I think is what they're calling it. So this is pretty cool. You also see the vents on it. We saw it first on the CX-60. It will be coming in to the American market in the CX-90. That's pretty amazing. We also have the armrest right here, which looks like it could open like this. I don't know what the proper, maybe like a fridge door, but laid down. And we also have a better look at the shifter, and we also have rotary dial in there as well. So pretty standard Mazda affair, which that's perfectly fine because their interiors are arguably the best in the class. They're non-luxury, right? But they offer Volvo-like aesthetics and interior quality at times. So let's go ahead and find the next so we get better look at the steering wheel right here, as well as the door. It looks very CX-60. Oh, we'll go back there. We also have that aluminum pattern that we have on the CX-60 and a nice white door here. And I can't tell what this material could be, a type of wood. We have a push button start over here. The new steering wheel looks great. Let's keep moving. They're talking about the materials they're using in here. Let's keep going. Okay, look at the front end, guys. Look at the front end. If this doesn't scream CX-60, I don't know what does. And there's this dark red paint color, which I don't remember seeing a dark red paint color as of late on a Mazda. Currently, we have the Soul Red, which I think it's pretty old. It's a beautiful color, but this is looking like a darker red here. You have the daytime running lights flowing into the grille, kind of like a vertical pattern on the front grille, and also kind of the headlights that we also saw from the CX-60 looks very similar. And we also have parking sensors up front and vertical gills here that look kind of like the MDX, for example, the front end. And we also what looks to be like a chrome strip at the bottom here at the front, which I don't believe was on the CX-60. I'll put an image of the CX-60 next to this so you can see the differences, but it looks very similar, but these vertical slots look a little bit different than the CX-60. You can tell the materials like the aluminum around here, as well as this, what could be wood which looks to be concealing the cup holders. And yes, a better look at the door. Let's go back. A better look at the door. Looks very CX-60. I like that fabric material around the door handle on the inside of the door panel. I'm not a big fan of chrome or aluminum shiny reflective things. I've been blinded in Mazdas before with their use of highly reflective materials, but at least they break it up with some striations and lines that go down the side. You also have the vent kind of plugged in here. Now, when the door opens, it looks like this vent is going to jut out. Hopefully you don't bang your knee onto it. That would be so painful. We also have a chrome strip at the bottom of the CX-90 here. These look like pretty big wheels. If I were to take a guess, maybe 21s. We have Mazda typed into this chrome piece at the bottom. Obviously, disc brakes on the back. A better look at that Mazda logo on the front, looking pretty regal. And then a close-up with that chrome strip on the side of the vehicle with the Mazda typed into it. Now, this piece is kind of hard to tell. It almost looks like a digital rendering. It looks like that chrome on the door next to that air vent that we saw earlier with these striations, but it could be a different part of the vehicle as well. Better look of that steering wheel, which looks pretty high quality. Another look at that stitching. Ooh, I can't wait to touch. I just want to run my finger along that dashboard in a few days. Putting in the screen here looks to be, I would guess, or maybe a 12-incher on the dash there. Hopefully it's like the CX-60, they've enabled touchscreen functionality, but I believe that touchscreen functionality might only be available when you're inside Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which I believe is wireless on the CX-60, so it should, fingers crossed, be wireless here. Putting in the whole center console here, obviously they don't do it like that in the factory. Maybe they do. I don't know exactly how they build this vehicle. And remember, this vehicle will be built in Japan. The only vehicle that we get, well, we get a few vehicles, the CX-30, some of the Mazda 3s, and the CX-50 are built in North America. This shifter looks very different than I've seen in any Mazda before, other than like probably the CX-60. Better look here. We got the rotary dial, which is great to have the option of the rotary dial and the touchscreen nowadays. Nice stitching here on the armrests. They're running along the aluminum there, but to me that looks like it's on the door. So maybe just a rendering of the door. This looks like a rendering as well. This looks like a speaker cover. Not sure though. And then we have additional stitching here. So, okay, so this is on the door because here's the window switch. So we got this crazy view of the door panel and the handle for the door here. And here's that Japanese stitching, what that stitching on the dashboard is kind of inspired by. That's pretty cool that they show it back to back like that. There they are sliding the dash in for the last piece of the interior. And what do we have here? What was that? It looks like a taillight, but it's really hard to tell. Like this could be curving around and maybe the reverse light's in the middle. It's really tough to see what's going on with that. You have a close-up on the Mazda logo on the wheel, and there's that chrome strip at the bottom again. A better look at the interior door panel, which looks excellent. And there's the countdown. So make sure to smash the like button if you're excited for the CX-90. Cannot wait. It's looking very upscale. It's going to the rear wheel drive platform. We got new inline six powertrain with 340 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. And we also have a new 8-speed auto. We also have a plug-in hybrid with over 360 pound-feet of torque and 323 horsepower, if I remember correctly, as well. So you can have a mild hybrid with inline six, smoothness, and power, or you could have a plug-in hybrid with efficiency and still a good amount of power, just going to add a little bit of weight to the platform and the vehicle. But man, it's great to have options, and Mazda's bringing the heat. Not even Lexus has a rear-wheel drive based SUV. Audi doesn't. I'm like trying to compare to other luxury brands. Obviously, Acura doesn't. Infiniti used to, and they still have it with the QX80, but that's more of a truck. They don't have a rear-wheel drive platform like that we used to have in the FX35 and FX50s, etc. So yes, Mazda stepping into that premium segment. Hopefully they can keep prices down with a wide variety of trim levels. That's what I would really like to see. If this thing is costing MDX price levels, it'll be interesting to see if they can pull that off. They might be able to with the engine technology that they have and powertrain technology compared to Acura, for example. But we have other Japanese auto news, so let's get into it. Honda's new V6, and it is all new. It's the same displacement as the old V6 that is going into the Pilot, but it is brand new. Going from single overhead cam to double overhead cam. It's killing the VTEC technology into it, but it reduces emissions massively, and they're still able to get a 5 more horsepower of it. So 285 horsepower. This is the first time we've seen a double overhead cam engine in a Honda or Acura product since the first generation NSX, which is pretty cool. Bore stroke compression ratio carryover. And while horsepower goes up by 5 to 285, torque remains the same as well. And the peak horsepower and peak torque come at higher RPMs with this double overhead cam engine, not by much, only 100 RPM for horsepower and 300 RPM for torque, which for torque, that's not a good thing. But luckily for the new Pilot, it has the 10-speed auto, which yes, you can have a little bit of dip in torque because the gearing is so much better on here. Also, hydraulic lifters are new, which means no more valve lash adjustments, and depressurizing them keeps valves closed during the 3-cylinder mode. Yes, it still has cylinder deactivation, and it still uses a timing belt, which needs to be serviced every 100,000 miles, which most people who own their Pilots, they're not going to be keeping it that long, even though it'll for sure run that long. But it's just unfortunate that they have not moved to a timing chain with this new engine. There's a few more details on this engine over at Car and Driver, but I'm going to move on to the next article. The all-new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek compact SUV makes a debut at the Chicago Auto Show. That will be happening February 9th. And remember to come back February 8th because that will be the reveal of the Toyota Grand Highlander. I won't be going to this auto show for these reveals, but I will be live streaming them, featuring the content on the channel, and discussing the new 3-row crossover from Toyota, as well as the new Crosstrek Subaru. And we also have a new image here, which has a sport model. Instead of going the wilderness, I guess, direction, they're going for the sport model with gold accents. I mean, gold is an iconic STI color for Subaru, but it looks like they're bringing it back in some shape or form. Does it mean we're going to have a turbocharged engine here? Highly doubt it. We're not going to have like a WRX version of the Crosstrek, I don't expect. But we probably could see the reprise of the role of the 2.5-liter Boxer 4-cylinder, kind of like the Impreza hatchback is getting that RS variant for 2023, and they're probably giving similar treatment to the Crosstrek. But I got to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Cannot wait for the reveal of the CX-90. Got to cut it off. Have a great day and peace.